The other danger to the modernization of yoga without education about its history or without the support of a community is that we see something called spiritual bypass everywhere. In fact, I talk about spiritual bypass in one of my podcast episodes with Damian B. Davis, a great friend and colleague with whom I often collaborate. Spiritual bypass is the it's all good mentality that refuses to do anything about improving the world at large because one is too good or spiritual, but largely is an excuse not to face difficulties or challenges at all. Yoga fortunately looks spiritual bypass in the eye and challenges it. What we have found in all worlds, whether secular or non-secular, is that the practices of yoga are challenging to master in one lifetime, or even in trillions of lifetimes. Yet, one small amount of time dedicated to a discipline that opens the heart and quiets the mind can create a ripple effect of goodness, not just for oneself, but for everyone. Perhaps the biggest thing that I have come to consistently and constantly tell students is that it is important to understand their own psychology and mind, because the deeper practices of yoga will test this understanding over and over again. Mental illness is very common in our modern world, and everywhere we turn, we see self-medication through drugs and alcohol. In fact, mental illness is so common in today's world that it has become normalized to overly rely on substances to alter emotions and behavior. Many of those suffering from their own minds turn to yoga for help. But a 200-hour trained yoga teacher may not be the perfect person to help you. People with master's degrees in psychology, psychiatrists, therapists, are better for those with mental illness and substance abuse problems. What I like to tell people is, regardless of mental illness or not, there are many sources of support available to everybody. 12-step programs, psychologists, psychiatrists, therapists. We have an understanding when we deepen our practice of yoga that uttering some of these sounds, even chanting a few verses of the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, can be like releasing a bomb inside a very closed mind or heart. When the heart and mind suddenly open, it can be a bit of a shock. We've only covered 3 of the 194 sutras of the Yoga Sutras. And my own ambition as a teacher would be to try to cover all 194 in a 200-hour teacher training. But this is a bit audacious because these are meant to be lived in a lifetime. I always see that by the time we get to the 4th chapter of the Yoga Sutras, I've got students bailing left and right. But we hold everyone in divine love throughout it all. Love is the key to the practice.